What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadan, and I'm joined by my good friend and business partner, Ali Busnaina, and this is episode 6 of the Drive Match podcast. What's up, Ali? How you doing today?
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. This is the first episode since the new year. How was your new year?
It was good.
Yeah, got to spend a lot of time with friends and family, I'm sure.
Yep. Nice and warm too.
Nice and warm, and the
No
end of
snow.
the year was crazy for you guys, right?
Yes.
Lots of car deals. Everybody's
Yeah.
always trying to squeeze in the car deals before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Um, so we've got a pretty action-packed episode today. Lots of cool things to talk about. The first thing on the agenda is we're gonna talk about the new DriveMatch.com. We're gonna talk about the curated deals and the shop yourself section for those of you that have followed our journey. I would say maybe over the last year and a half, DriveMatch.com used to be just a website where you could get pre-negotiated lease deals, but now we've opened it up where you can shop yourself, and we have all new inventory across the United States listed. So whether you're shopping for a Honda, a Toyota, BMW, Volvo, or Mercedes-Benz, all the vehicles are on DriveMatch.com, and we have some really, really cool features that we've built into DriveMatch, which really separates us from the other online car marketplaces. So we'll talk about that. Then I'm going to kind of pick Ali's brain about his favorite curated deals. So that's kind of the pre-negotiated section of DriveMatch. We have some really cool deals this month and more to be added, right, Ali?
Yes.
And then we'll talk about Tesla, how it's no longer the number one EV car maker or car seller in the world. That was huge, been surpassed by BYD. Then we'll talk about the Honda Prelude car sales, because Prelude sales have just been horrendous, and there's a lot of fanfare with this vehicle when it first came out. But yeah, we'll talk about that. And then we have Mercedes has some really, really good financing offers. Actually, BMW does as well, right? Are they continuing X3, X5, X7, or just X3? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know off the top of
I
my
don't
head.
know. We'll check it on Drive Match. We'll check it on Drive Match.
Exactly.
But Mercedes is definitely doing 1.4% on for 24 months. And then lastly, we'll talk about some other lease deals, particularly the Subaru Forester lease deal. It's one of my uniquely one of my favorite lease deals this month. I have a soft spot for the Forester, and I feel like it's kind of underrated because a lot of people just want RAV4, CRV, but this is kind of the revamped Forester, really good powertrain, co-developed with Toyota. So we'll talk about that in some detail. So I guess the first thing I'll do is I will share my screen with the audience, and I want to show them the new DriveMatch.com. So let me pull the DriveMatch website up, and let me see if I can present this to the audience. Let's share my screen, and it's going to be...
There it is.
All right. So as you can see here, we have, we're on DriveMatch.com. This is the homepage. So now you have the curated deals section. So this is going to be your pre-negotiated deals, or you can shop yourself. Now, I can click on Browse Deals, and I'm going to see all of the deals that are available for the month of January. I have this toggle on, which is the deals that are available to me. I can turn this toggle off. I have it set to Seattle, Washington. I can turn this off, and essentially you're going to see all of the deals that we have right now on DriveMatch.com. We have some fantastic deals across multiple manufacturers. So I think most of you watching know how that works. I think the real special thing that I want to share with everybody today is the Shop Yourself section. So if we click on Start Shopping, it's going to take us to this page. And you can shop for any car that you want, right? You can just type it out. So if we want to look at BMW X3, for instance, we wanted to see what the APRs were on the BMW X3, and we want to get a benchmark payment. Let's just go ahead and click it. So, all right, I think the M50, let's do, the M50 is fine. Let me do this one right here. We've got a 30 here, BMW X3 at BMW of Seattle. As I said, it's pulling inventory from all over the nation. So let's go ahead and click on this. And if you have the Pro subscription, what you can do here is you can click on Build Your Deal. And with the Pro subscription, you're also going to see if a vehicle is Section 179 eligible. So if it's tax deductible, excuse me, or not. And you can click on Build Your Deal, and it's going to take you down to this section of the website. And as you can see here, we have a benchmark lease payment. So this is going to have a discount factored in that Ali and the team that we all work on based on each individual car. It's pulling real-time residual values, a real-time money factor for the lease. And you'll see that with $3,000 down, you're looking at a payment of $917 a month. And right away, it's kind of telling you, we've built in this tool. the lease rate is 1.51% of MSRP. When you take the effective monthly payment and divide it by the MSRP, you've got over 1.51%. So it's telling you that financing may be the better value for this particular vehicle, right? And if you want to look at the payment grid to see if there are more favorable terms, you can click on the payment grid, and you can actually see that at 39 months are all really good lease deals. Maybe 39 months is the sweet spot, Ali, for this vehicle.
39 is the sweet spot this month.
39 is the sweet spot. Yep. Yeah, as you can see here, 36 months, the payment's $897. 39 months, the payment's $841. So, and we have the key here. So anything in green is a good lease deal. So under 1.5%, great is under 1.25%, and amazing is under 1%. So it's a good lease deal. Definitely a vehicle that I would lease if I were shopping for this vehicle, and then maybe consider doing a lease buyout at the end of the term. Now, if I wanted to finance this vehicle, I could just click on finance, and I have my monthly payment here, and the APR is 1.99%. And the cool thing is you can just click this button here that says compare all terms, and you'll see the relevant APR, and you'll see the total interest payments for the term. So, for example, at 72 months, the APR is 2.99%, which LE is still fantastic, to be fair,
it's still very
at 72 months, right? But as you can see here, we try to give some insight to the customer. So over the term of the lease, over the 72-month term, you're going to pay a total of about $6,000 in interest, $5,996 to be exact. On a 60-month term, you can see how much money you save at 1.99%. So obviously it's a shorter term, but at 1.99%, you're just paying $3,292 in interest. So you're saving, what, $2,700 give or take by going with the 60-month term.
Yeah, and your monthly payment doesn't really change that much in that example. So
yeah, that's also a good
having that grid to be able to compare is so helpful for finding the best deal that works for you and the your family in this situation.
100%. And then one of the things we talk about is a 39-month lease that we're talking about with the BMWs. And the cool thing with going 39 months on BMWs is the powertrain, or the bumper-to-bumper, is 4 years, $50,000. So with some manufacturers, Ali, right, it's 36 months. So you do have to take that 3 months of risk where you're kind of outside of warranty and you're kind of like fingers crossed. Hopefully nothing goes wrong here. But with BMW, you obviously don't have that. You're fully covered. Even if you're probably doing 12 or 15,000 miles a year, you're still covered in that instance as well, which is great.
Yes.
And the other thing I want to talk about is just the toggle. So you can see the down payment toggle. If you wanted to put $5,000 down, the monthly payment will automatically adjust. You can see it's $1,088 with $5,000 down, and this $5,000 is taking into account. I should rather say this for leasing. It's taking into account all of your inceptions, like first month's payment, acquisition fee, registration fee. So this is going to be your total out-of-pocket amount. It's not $3,000 down and then plus taxes and fees. It's $3,000 total out-of-pocket. So.
Yes. Same with the finance.
Same with the finance.
Just to make that clarification, but yes.
Yes, same with the finance. And then we've also built in the incentives and rebates here, so you can just go through this quick questionnaire. So am I a BMW college grad program? Do I qualify for this? Just hit no. Loyalty lease credit. If I do have a BMW, I do not, so no. And then you have a military discount, $500, so no. But, you can just add the rebates, which always is a fantastic feature as well. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that's kind of the new DriveMatch.com. Ali, was there anything that maybe I left out that that I should have added?
No, I think you covered it. The college grad is sometimes a little misleading for customers because, like you and I, yes, we both went to college, but it's recent college grad.
Recent. It's a good clarification. Yeah, yes. Yes.
So it's like I think within 2 years of graduation is when you qualify for it.
Okay, perfect. So I will stop presenting here and go back to the main screen. And so the next thing that I want to talk about with you, Ali, was kind of your favorite curated deals this month. I know you had some names that you wanted to share. Do you want to share those with the audience?
Yeah, actually. Two of them is so you and I are both a fan of plug-in vehicles.
Yes,
I think this month is one of the best deals I've ever seen on the Lexus RX. So the Lexus RX 450h Plus, I believe it's called, is just a fantastic deal. We have some of those posted for the California market. We're trying to open it up for additional West Coast markets at that same pricing. But it's just such a unique vehicle in that it's a series and parallel hybrid. So I'll be doing some videos on the differences in plug-in hybrid vehicles that are out there. But this one is a very unique, from a technical standpoint, it's very unique in how it's implemented.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love about is about Toyota plug-in products is that, with a lot of manufacturers, Stellantis, BMW, Mercedes, like you have your plug-in hybrid range of 40 miles, but once you exhaust that battery, your gas mileage really takes a dip, right? It really takes a dip. But with the Toyota plug-in hybrids, and pardon me if I'm incorrect in this, but from my experience, at least with the older ones, with like the Prius Prime, the RAV4 Prime, which I have some experience with, even when you exhaust the battery pack, the plug-in battery pack, you're still getting phenomenal gas mileage, even if you don't charge it. So, whereas a lot of plug-in owners might feel like, oh, I have to really plug in every single night to really maximize like the savings. With Toyota, you really don't have that worry, because even if you don't charge it, yes, it's good to, but even if you don't, you're not like getting 20 miles per gallon like in your RAV4 Prime. You're still getting the 30, 35, 40 miles per gallon.
Yeah, it's really a great setup. They use a new eCVT transmission, so no more belts or anything like that. It's all planetary gear sets, and it's a very good system. So, and then the rear wheels are powered by what's called the e-axle. But this is a 70,000 plus RX, which is a lot of money, but we're seeing them lease in the 700 range, which is kind of unheard of for this car. Even we talked about the EV rebates going away, so this car no longer has the rebates, but is actually leasing better than when it had the rebates. So
yeah, that's true.
It's pretty.
And do you mind? Should I share it with the audience? I can pull it up here.
Yeah, pull it up,
because I have it pulled up now. I can. Let's see if I can share it with.
Yeah, and these are. Are
you able to see it?
Yes, these are. One of them is a premium. It's mislabeled, but the two of them are luxuries. So
okay,
you're saving huge amounts on these cars.
Huge discount, 9.6% below MSRP, and that's not including any incentives or rebates. And you're looking at $3,000 down, $645 a month plus tax. That's a good deal for this vehicle. And Ali, would you agree that in terms of likelihood of a vehicle having positive equity at the end of the lease, this vehicle is probably one of those vehicles?
Yeah, it's just going to be a great value for customers.
Yeah. Yeah, we see that with the Lexuses, the Toyotas, certain BMWs and Mercedes, but that brings the effective cost of the lease down, right? So every vehicle, for those of you that aren't familiar with leasing, every vehicle has a residual value, which you can buy the vehicle out at the end of the lease. And what we find is, cars that maybe hold their value better than the manufacturer anticipated, and the RXs, the NXs of the world tend to do that because the demand is always strong for these vehicles, that you may have $2, $3, $4, $5, even more $1,000 of equity at the end of the lease. So, if you get a $4,000 check back at the end of the lease, Sully, that's $4,000 saved, and that lowers the effective cost of the lease essentially. So,
yeah. And one of my other favorites is the Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid. It's we're seeing on those cars, we're seeing like a $45,000 MSRP, leasing in the 300s.
Yes,
and that's such a popular vehicle. It's one of the RAV4 Prime competitors.
Yep.
I think Kia did a very good job on the implementation of that car. But
I'm going to do a short form on the Kia deal. I think there's a lot of people that would be interested. The price point is just fantastic on that, right?
It really is. Yeah, and it's not a base model either. I believe it's the X line. But so much car for the payment.
For the payment, yeah. Kia, Hyundai are just crushing it right now. They're just building such good products. It's really is awesome to see. Um, the next item that I wanted to talk about, well, I guess before we move, if you guys want curated deals, be sure to check out Drive Match. We have cars that ship all over the nation. All of the deals have been curated by Ully and our team. So everything that you see is a fantastic deal in terms of value, and you're going to save time because you're not going to have to shop. Um, you're not going to have to waste time at a dealership. Everything is mostly handled electronically, and we can ship the vehicles directly to your driveway or pretty damn close to your driveway, right, Ellie?
Yeah, as
So
long as you don't have like tree-lined streets, and we
yeah.
can get it pretty close.
And what
But
would you recommend for the consumer that wants to maybe use Drive Match? Would you say maybe test drive the vehicle right in advance, kind of get familiar with the vehicle? Because obviously we don't have like a test drive service, so
yeah, yeah.
it's
So I mean, curated deal is exactly like you said, Ravi. It's really for hey, I drove the Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid. I know I really like it, and I don't want to deal with the headache of negotiating the deal and sitting at the dealership. I just the curated deal is an excellent price, and you can take advantage of it without having to deal with any of those
yes.
typical frustrations of car buying.
Yeah, yes, exactly right. I mean, even when we got our Cadillac, and I kind of negotiated everything up front, and but still, going to the dealer, um, because I was on the phone with you, right? There was certain like rebates
Yeah.
that they were having a hard time pulling up, and I
Yep.
mean, it's still, even though the negotiation was done, I just had come and just essentially signed paperwork. Really, it still took like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And not all dealers are that way. And we don't want to, I'm not bad mouthing the dealers. They're doing a fantastic job, but it's just the systems. And sometimes it's not their fault. And
Hmm.
it's just the way it is. So,
Yeah. I mean, you're using very old systems of CDK, Reynolds, trying to pull, make everything. And a lot of dealers don't normally do leases. So
yes.
that's
Yeah,
another.
that's true. The lack of familiarity there can really, impact those times. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was Tesla, excuse me, has officially fallen behind BYD, as BYD has now sold more electric vehicles in the year of 2025 than Tesla, first time in history. And the ironic thing
Crazy.
here is that BYD doesn't even sell vehicles in America. They're not allowed to sell
I
vehicles in
know.
America, and they've surpassed Tesla. I mean, imagine if BYD was allowed to sell vehicles here. I mean, the margin would just grow even more.
Yeah. And it would really hurt the American car market for sure.
It would really hurt the American car market. I was talking to my cousin who lives in England. He's in Birmingham, England, and he just started leasing he had a BMW i4, and he just started leasing a Renault. I forget the model. Renaults obviously aren't sold here in the United States, so I'm not that familiar with the model. But it's an all electric car, 300 miles of range, very practical. He loves it, and he was telling me about how many BYDs are on the road now in England. He's like, they are everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
It's and you were in Europe recently too. Actually, we talked about this right in one of the
Yeah.
previous episodes, and you saw a lot of them.
A ton. Yeah. And the showrooms there. But I actually in Italy, I spoke to a lot of taxi drivers that switched from Mercedes to BYD electric cars.
Wow, yeah,
Just
there's
the upkeep and everything has been a lot cheaper for the electric.
yes, and the price point that they're coming in at is 20% or so cheaper than the legacy automakers. So it's just you can't compete. Actually, I wanted to present. I had another presentation that I wanted to make with the audience because I have the Wall Street Journal article pulled up here, and it's actually a really cool chart that they had built into this article that I wanted to show everybody. So, as you can see, the dark blues are Tesla vehicle deliveries, and it's in the millions. And the light blue is BYD vehicle deliveries, right? So, as you can see here, under 250,000 for BYD just as recently as 2020. And as this curve, in 2023, BYD is catching up a little over 1.5 million deliveries. Tesla is still at 1.75. 2024 it's pretty even, and in 2025, I mean, they've skyrocketed past. They're at 2.25 million deliveries
Wow.
in
That's just
2025.
crazy.
And like, look at this trend. You know what I mean? Like, look at the
Yeah.
trend. And I'm sure next year it's just going to be the margin or the gap is just going to be even wider. And it's a shame that we don't have them because I would love to drive some and at least um, test them out for myself. And they must be amazing cars if people are buying them. Because in the auto business, a lot of it's word of mouth. One person, your friend or a family member buys a car, and then it's like, oh, this is fantastic. You know, somebody else buys it, and to do out deliver Tesla is quite a feat.
That is, yeah, it's
You know.
especially, coming from where they were in just 5 years. So,
Yep. Um, the next thing I wanted to talk about was Honda Prelude sales. We don't have to touch on it for a long time, but man, the Prelude came into the market, to compete with the BRZ, the Miata, and they only sold 174 units
that's
in
it.
the month of
Oh,
December,
man.
which is that's just bad.
Yeah. The Prelude was just such a iconic car, that
It
they
was.
brought back.
Man, my buddy in high school used to have a Type. Was it a Type SH Prelude? I think that was a trim. I can't remember the trim exactly, but man, it was just slammed to the ground. Such a cool car. That era, I mean, Honda Acura, in my opinion, they haven't fully fallen off, but man, even with Acura, like the product lineup, in my opinion, it's just not what it was like in the 90s, right? I mean,
No,
just
it's
isn't.
not.
Like the TLs, the Acura Legends back in the day. My parents used to have an Acura, an RL, a 3.5 RL. I mean, this thing was plush. It
That
was
was a
such a
nice
nice
car.
car.
Yeah.
It was the Honda Legend in Europe and Asia. Yeah, there were such good cars, and the RL used to be such a good car, and they've really messed up the RL. I think the MDX, RDX, you could argue are still okay, but the rest of the lineup, I think they've really fallen behind the competition. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I still remember going to the auto show in 2001 or 2002 and seeing the new TL Type S,
Oh
at the
yeah.
time. It was just,
Yes.
yeah, everybody was all over that car,
Yep.
big 17-inch wheels at the time, xenon headlights, like,
Yes.
that was the car. Like the desire around that car was huge.
That was it. It had the
They just don't.
manumatic the transmission where you could pop it over
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
shift the gears. I mean, everybody was like,
Yes.
"Wow, this is like
And even
amazing."
I feel like even the marketing they had at that time was just like they nailed it.
They nailed it. Yeah.
Um,
It was a
CL
very
Type
desirable
S.
car.
It was, yeah. And even, the RL, I'd argue the LS is a better car, but the RL was
Yes.
also priced to be, much better than the LS, but it was still a phenomenal car.
Yep. RIP to the LS.
Yeah, that hurts me a lot. I really like that car.
Me too. Um, yeah, so yeah, with this Honda, I think it's overpriced, it's underpowered, there's just better options. I don't know what the better one Instagrammer was saying that, why would you get um a Prelude when you can get like a 2 Series or you could get a Z car, like a Nissan Z, and it's just
Hmm.
more power, better driving experience. I think this Prelude has like 200 horsepower. So, I mean,
Yeah, which,
you know,
I mean,
Honda's been stuck at 200 horsepower for the
yeah, I
last
was going to
25
say
years. It's
the
like,
94 you probably had in high school had 190,
yeah,
which was
exactly
insane
right.
at the time. I mean, to have a small four cylinder at that time making, close to 200 horsepower is just
Ex
incredible.
exactly right. Yeah. Honda used to really be on the forefront with the Honda brand and with, I mean, even like their hybrid technology. We talked about hybrids, and we talk
Yeah.
about why does the Highlander sell so well? Well, because it gets great gas mileage, it's practical, especially when you compare it to a Pilot. I mean, most people are going to take the Highlander all day because it does everything the Pilot does, and it gets 70% better fuel economy. And
Yes.
people in that segment, that's what they want is fuel economy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'd say the cars they're still, doing a pretty decent job on is the Civic. Still is a very good seller
Yeah.
and a good car. And we've seen a lot of desire around the Type R.
Yes.
So I wish
That's
they took some of that, and gave it to the Prelude, or maybe they will, hopefully. But
Yeah, hopefully they will. I just want them to come back, man. I mean, just from the NSXs of that generation to the like the Integras and the Integra Type Rs and the Civic Type Rs, even the Civic Si of that, growing up in
oh
the
yeah,
90s. I mean,
that
these
blue,
cars were like
iconic blue color.
they were iconic
Yeah,
cars.
they, yeah, and they're
And
still on the
so
road today.
and they're still on the road. Yeah, exactly right.
Especially here in the desert.
Yeah, they were really, really good cars. So I think Honda's doing a good job, but I would love to see them get back to the heyday.
Same, yeah.
So,
And I think
um,
to not to dwell on it, but I think Nissan and Infiniti have the same kind of issue that Honda has, where they back in the day they were like super desirable cars.
yes, you're
Everybody
right.
wanted a G35, G37.
Yes,
The QX80s back in the day were highly
we're
desirable.
awesome.
Yep,
Maximas were like, dude, it's like
Maximas.
your mom has a Maxima, dude. That's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow,
Yeah,
sporty,
sporty.
But
Yeah, Max, it was so good.
yeah, my wife actually had a Maxima when I first met her. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Dude, they were really good
but
cars.
yeah, they were. It was just such a great car. But now I feel like they're kind of finding their way again, where Nissan and Infiniti is really improving and putting out good products. So
Yep.
I hope Honda, Acura can find their way and do that too.
Yes. Yes, 100%. Yeah, we used to talk about that, right? I mean, like the Nissan, like the Pathfinder was such a desirable SUV in those
Oh yeah,
days. Like,
yeah, and
it was
the Xterra and
the
all those.
Xterra. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, the Xterra.
Which
My,
I
my
hear is coming back, the Xterra. So
Oh, is
that'll be
it?
exciting. Yeah,
They should have never got rid of it. It was such a good
I
brand for them.
know.
And then you see, like, right, you see it with Wrangler, you see it with Bronco. Like, this is a very
Forerunner.
such yeah, Forerunner. Like, it's
Yep.
such a cool segment to be in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's like
So
the outdoor lifestyle segment.
yes,
It's people really like it to stay the same.
yes,
They want the new tech, but maybe more power, more functionality, but they really want it to stay the way it is, like to keep the heritage and roots of the car itself. So,
I
but yeah,
uh, um, and not to get on too much of a tangent, but this is a podcast, so we do get into the nitty gritty here. Is that manufacturers? I think, and if any manufacturers listening to this podcast, I think they dwell too much on platforms and changing things so much. But if we look at like the Dodge Charger, for instance, right, old Mercedes-Benz E-Class platform from like 2004. And they just subtly improved it every single year, and it sold extremely well for them.
yeah,
People, the average consumer doesn't care about the platform. They just like the car. They want it to look slightly better every 3 or 4 years, and they want the interior to be revised every 3 to 4 years. And that's kind of like, I think things are just overthought, over-engineered. If we look at Tesla as another example too, like the Model 3, Model Y, S, X, they're largely unchanged for the last.
yeah.
Model S and
I
X
mean,
is, it's 10 plus 15 years now, probably.
yeah, you've had Model S's rolling off the line in 2011.
2011, right?
2012 cars.
And largely, I know that the dimensions have changed. It's gotten wider, but largely it's the same vehicle. But
Yeah.
they improved the interior, they improved the exterior, they changed the wheels, they give it a minor facelift, right? Even with the Model Y Juniper. And look at the Model Y. It's the best-selling car in the world, and they just did some subtle facelift improvements, improved the headlights, improved the tech, make the hardware better. So my message to automakers is not everything has to have a complete revision, and keep some of these legacy brands and some of these names around for the consumers, because I think it's just overthought.
Yeah, and the manufacturer that I'd say pioneered or is the expert at what you're saying is Toyota. They've
Yeah.
done that for ever.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
the 2007 Camry, I believe, is when they did the major change. But from 2007 to right now, you still have, you know, if you took off the fenders and hood and trunk and all that, they're very similar to what it was in 2007.
Yep.
But they've done a great job of, keeping it fresh, keeping it updated. They've done a lot of, updates every 3 to 4 years, exactly like you said.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons they're so profitable and, make such a desirable product.
Desirable product, and that's why they're so reliable, because they're
And
not trying to be
reliability,
on the
yeah.
forefront of tech and this and that, where everything's are breaking and then it's getting reported to Consumer Reports and you get a bad score. And Toyotas are pretty basic vehicles, in terms of latest and greatest. Now I think they're starting to change a bit more too, but as you said, largely, yeah, they just stick to what works, and that's what consumers want.
But I still love Mercedes and BMW.
Yes, of course, of course. Yes, you know, but yeah, I was just thinking about like with Honda and these other
Yeah,
brands, like they should follow the Toyota model more so. But BMW, Mercedes, I think they have to push the envelope a bit,
they
because
do. Yes,
they have to be at the forefront of technology, because that's why we
that's what
we
their
as consumers buy those vehicles.
that's what their customers looking for. Yep,
That's what their customers looking for.
they're
Exactly
looking
right.
for that 100% improvement in structural rigidity and you
Yes.
know that's like all you read about the step change in suspension technology and
Yes.
the like Porsche is another one, but Porsche did that with the Cayenne. The Cayenne's been the same for a very long time, and same with the
Yep.
Macan. So
That's a good example. But yeah, with those premium customers, they want that evolution to happen and happen
yes,
faster.
yep.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Speaking of Mercedes, do you want to talk about some of the financing offers that they have going on this month?
Yeah, you should pull up one of them on Drive Match, but
Here, I'll pull one up
we're
on them in the
seeing we're
meantime.
seeing they just did it across the board, 1.4% APR. So except the G Wagon, I believe. But if you're looking at buying a Mercedes Benz cash, don't do it. Use the 1.4 and do something else with your cash. It's just such a I've never seen that from them to just do a blanket 1.4 APR. It's that Mercedes is really starting 2026 off very strong.
I wonder if this is I'm all turned around here. I'm gonna try to pull one of these up for us.
Oh, sure.
Uh, let me just pull up like a GLC. So shop yourself GLC. I'm going to use the California zip,
I want
and
to
I'll
say the
present this.
1.4 is restricted to 24 months, but I believe there's also very good rates on the longer terms as well.
Oh, is there? Okay. Let me see if I can present this to the audience. I'm going to present my screen. I think it's this one. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, here's an example. We got a GLC on Drive Match. This one is at Mercedes-Benz of Los Angeles. And if we again click on Build Your Deal, and if we click on Finance, we click on compare all terms and rates. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing 24 months, 1.4%, which is fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, even at 60,
Yeah.
1.99, that's fantastic too.
Very strong. Yeah. Yep.
That's very, very strong. I mean, I'd almost, even if you have the cash to cover it, I mean, I would almost just take the 60.
In
Why
that in
not?
that model, yeah. But I think
Right?
models like I want to say like some of the AMG cars, like S classes and stuff like that, where you don't normally see special rates. They just did a blanket 1.4, which
Which
is
is
really
great.
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna see if I can pull up let's see if we can pull up an S class. Is it applied to the AMG products too, or
I
no?
believe so. Yeah,
Should we check? We got S63
I
here.
could be
Wow, what
wrong,
a
but
beautiful spec.
oh yeah, that's such an awesome car.
What a beautiful spec. Let's compare rates.
There it is. Yep,
Wow.
1.4
1.4,
and
24
1.9 up to
months.
60. Yeah,
1.9 to 60 months. That's fantastic. Only $10,000 in interest for a car with an MSRP of what must be over 200 or close to 200. Yeah, $210,000.
yeah,
Not a bad
that's
deal.
yeah.
It's very, very aggressive. Wow. Um, and then in terms of other deals, I don't really have any other deals that I wanted to share. I did make a video about the Subaru Forester yesterday. Personally, big fan of the Subaru Forester. I don't know if it's because I live in Seattle and Subarus are just everywhere, but I'm a big fan of the hybrid Forester. It's still a flat. What do they call it? They call it not a flat. What do they call it? Their engine
Oh, the
orientation.
horizontal.
The horizontal. Sorry,
Yeah,
flats Porsche. The horizontal, the H4. It's an H4 with a hybrid system that was co-developed with Toyota, and so Toyota is one of if not the largest shareholder in Subaru. So they're essentially owned by Toyota. But I think it's a fantastic vehicle. It's getting like 35, 40 miles per gallon. The leases are fantastic on them. We're looking at like under 1.1% on
yeah,
Forester
yeah.
hybrids this month.
It is. It's one of those sleeper cars that you don't really hear much about, but it's really, and it's a new design too. It's a very good product this year.
Yes, very good product. And one of the things I was talking to Ali about, because I was like, sometimes you have these thoughts and you're like, I'm thinking about this. Am I thinking about this the right way? And with the Forester, so with leasing, ladies and gentlemen, it's like there's multiple variables that go into leasing that make a lease a good deal. With most manufacturers, what we find is that they will artificially increase the residual value. So they're pretty much saying this car won't depreciate as much as it really would or really should. The other way you lower a lease price is doing a really low money factor, an interest rate. And with the Subaru, it's kind of opposite. Most manufacturers will increase the residual value. Subaru's actually kept the residual at I think what I would say like real world residual, but they've really lowered the money factor. It's under 1%. I think it might even be
Oh,
under 0.5%,
that's
and
awesome.
which is fantastic. And another scenario in which you have a higher likelihood of having positive equity at the end of the lease term, which could lower your effective cost of the lease. I was thinking about that the right way, right, Ali?
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
were for sure. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it's always great to have the lease that way, especially if you're looking at purchasing it at the end or hopefully in a positive equity situation. So
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's everything that was on the agenda for today that we had.
all right,
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining in, and be sure to check out drivematch.com and be sure to tell somebody that you like or love. And with that, we'll call it a podcast. Thanks, Ellie. Appreciate it.
thanks, Ravi.
All right, buddy.